Hello and welcome to another wonderful episode of Eye on Port. This program is proudly brought to you by Serene Insurance, Gold Company Limited, the Ghana Revenue Authority, the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, and Ghana Link, who are the operators of the Integrated Customs Management System. Our proud media partner is the Business and Financial Times. This week, we are discussing compliance of customs processes in an era of digitalization, and we had in the studios Yao Che, who is the president of the Association of Customs House Agents Ghana, ACHAG, as well as Smile Agbemenu, who is the principal revenue officer with the Policy and Programs Unit at Customs and doubles as a team member of the ICOMS implementation team. Here is a report. A principal revenue officer at the Customs Policy and Programs Unit, Smile Agbemenu, has disclosed that the digitalization of customs clearance processes at the ports has brought about a high level of compliance from importers. He said customs has been able to obtain data which has enabled them profile importers into different categories depending on their compliance levels. He was optimistic that the data obtained will aid in the planning of the division. Smile Agbemenu made this known on the current affairs maritime program Eye on Port.
We are able to know our traders much better so that we can be able to profile them, determine who is supposed to be cleared without any full customs inspection, or those that would require certain form of a treatment. So, and then of course that whilst you do all those ones, you collect rich data. Data is actually one of the most expensive assets of every government now.
Absolutely.
So you collect data and then you use it for statistical reporting and policy decision making.
Also speaking on the program, the president of the Association of Customs House Agents Ghana, ACHAG, Yao Che, indicated that the digitalization of customs processes at the port has reduced challenges that hitherto affected the clearance of goods at the port. Yao Che stated that the agitations that characterized the digitalization drive of port processes is as a result of the fact that people were apprehensive about job losses and because stakeholders were also not duly consulted.
Some of the staff members were not too happy. It's something that 3 or 4 people can do. We are not going to bring a machine, computer, can do everything. And in fact, it's the reality too. In fact, that's how the whole world is moving towards, so there's nothing we can do about it. And of course, we also made to know that there were a lot of areas, loopholes, some who were not too comfortable to, a few of them, of course, who were not too comfortable because it would seal a few more loopholes that would make things too easy for them.
However, he said stakeholders are now satisfied and happy with the level of digitalization at the port after the rollout. He said one doesn't need to be in the port physically to get his or her goods out of the port.
The understanding the system now, everybody seems very happy with what is going on. Let me give you an example. It's even possible to take delivery of a consignment from day one to the time it exits at the port without physically seeing a customs officer or seeing any other terminal operator or port operator.
Smile Agbemenu said all customs transactions which require the delivery of goods out of customs control have been automated.
So if you look at our processes, the processes basically will lead to taking goods out of the country, that is the national customs territory, bringing goods within the country or for some form of further processing. So long as all these processes are concerned, all of them have been automated.
He commended the effort of stakeholders who have helped in fine-tuning the clearance processes in line with international best practices. He revealed that the processes for the automation of auction have been completed and currently being piloted.
The expectation is that the public would no longer be able to physically move to a customs facility to see these goods before they have interest. They will be published online and they'll be doing the bidding online, where they are able to have the best bidder.
So that's
the best bidder
e-auction.
wins it. That is e-auction.
Smile Agbemenu outlined some of the major benefits the digitalization drive has brought to the port business. He added that the increase in revenue for government cannot be overemphasized.
We are able to cause you to be a bit more compliant at what you do. The revenue that is associated with it also is collected for the state, which is the paramount one. And then we now introduce, as we have introduced, the government had introduced the Ghana.gov payment and settlement platform. Makes it much more easier for you to go to anywhere, any bank, or sit in the comfort of your house and be able to pay for the goods and that you are importing. Right. And when that is paid, the money is actually seamlessly again transferred to the coffers of government without human interference.
Digitalization, as at now, has made the port work very, very, very easy. And we are all happy about it, despite the fact that initially we had some apprehensions about them. And the fact that this time it relaxes you. And it's web-based too. You can stay somewhere in America or somewhere in your village, and just go ahead, control your office, control your documents, control your goods that should come out or not, and all that. And you also assess what is going on, even in your office. You don't need physically to be there. And you can operate 24 hours too. That's also one good thing about the digitalization system that we have now.
Yauche decried that despite the progress that have been made, some shipping lines still demand that agents physically come to their offices before consignments are released.
I must say Maxline, MSC, and CGMA are doing well so far. You can easily pay online, sit in the comfort of your office. Immediately, about within 10-15 minutes, they respond and you can move ahead. But some other shipping lines will still ask you to physically submit your receipts before they release your consignments for you.
He expressed worry that some of the terminals have not also automated their systems.
I must also say that even the terminals, some of them are still asking that you physically come there. They are still not online. They will physically come there for an invoice, go to the bank, bank of their preference, go and pay, and bring the pay slip there before they can issue receipt for you. As at now, some of the terminals are still doing the same. So it looks as if, despite the fact that the government has done so much, customs also doing very well, some other shipping lines and the terminals are still lagging behind. Some of them, I'm sure, about 5-6 years behind us, which they need to push them up.
Smile Agbamenu said a lot of customs offences have been done away with as a result of the digitalization.
But then there are a series of customs offences, and smuggling is one. So there are quite other of them: misclassification under declaration, or where you have falsified the invoice or any of the trade support documents. So yes, these are all customs related offenses that we are now better able to detect and prevent.
Yauche tasked freight forwarders to interrogate clients very well to ascertain the quantities and actual products they are bringing into the country in order not to fall foul of the customs laws.
Somebody comes in and tells you that, yes, I have a consignment, I don't have an invoice. Customs demands that you bring an invoice, you bring a bill of lading, you bring a parking list. I don't have an invoice. It could be true that some of them may not even have the invoices from wherever they bought. Some of them might have bought the goods on the open market. And some of them too may intentionally be hiding their invoices. So you need to interview the client very well before you make a decision. Else it will push you into a problem, into trouble. Yes.
Those were some interesting discussions on how digitalization of customs processes has helped trade facilitation as well as revenue generation in the port. Iron Port returns after this break.
Every now and again, Goil makes good things happen. This time, Goil has introduced Super XP Ron 95, a higher grade fuel loaded with additives and yet sold at the same price as normal fuel. Goil Super XP Ron 95 enhances engine performance like never before. It maintains the engine by keeping it clean from carbon deposits. Goil Super XP Ron 95 is designed to burn slowly and thus improves fuel economy, making you save money after several kilometers. Goil Super XP Ron 95 gives you a smooth driving experience, that is, less vibrations. Fill up with Goil Super XP Ron 95. Now there's no need to pay more for any higher grade fuel. Goil has that sorted. Goil, good energy.
Electricity. then pay your taxes. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is, you still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
Impressive factory. If only I had listened to you, I wouldn't have been in this mess. That devastating fire virtually wiped out the whole factory and my warehouse.
Remember my misfortunes last year? Serene Insurance Asset All Risk Fire policy that I took were there to pay for my damaged stocks in the warehouse, and my machines that were affected by the floods have been replaced. My accident vehicle is back on the road thanks to Serene Insurance motor policy. Currently, my goods are on the high seas, covered with their marine cargo insurance policy. I was just telling Ajima about Serene Insurance.
Oh, Ajima,
tell him more.
As a road contractor, I make sure I do my contractors all risk insurance for the projects and then workers' compensation for all the workers on site. With Serene Insurance, they will make sure they will cover your unknown tomorrow today.
Serene Insurance, a new face of insurance. Call us now.
Welcome back from the break. Now, news and activities happening within the port and maritime industry next. The Minister of Transport, Kweku Foresiama, has lauded management of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority for the construction of the Community Terminal, which he described as a great edifice. He was speaking during his maiden visit to the terminal since the handing over of the facility to GPHA in March 2021. The minister said the terminal is critical to government's objective of promoting efficiency in the maritime trade.
This infrastructure is so crucial to us because it's going to help us to decongest the port. Because if you don't have enough space at the port, then we cannot offload the container. Ship vessels will delay, and once the vessels delay, the cost is being transferred to the final consumer. So it's so important to us that you must have a space at the port there in order for you to offload the vessel to come, in order for them to spend less hours, so that the cost will not be high. In addition to, now that we have a 16-meter draft in West Africa, it means that most people use our port as a transshipment port or as a transit point. And some of the goods have to be offloaded before it is unloaded again. And all this thing needs space.
He tasked GPHA to evaluate the possibility of investing in other facilities nationwide to ease the cost of doing business.
I've also tasked the GPHA that this thing shouldn't be concentrated in Accra alone. We should look at the cluster, look at where our customers are, and see if we can build such facilities in order to ease their burden.
The community terminal is intended to augment the existing infrastructure at the port of Tema. The world-class terminal sits on a 16.2 hectare land and consists of a 105,000 square meter container storage and divining area, a car storage area, control tower, water tanks, transformer house, mechanical shop, fire bay, container freight station, an office complex, banking hall, a cafeteria, and an outdoor parking area, among others. The project, which took 5 years to complete, was funded through a $126 million loan procured from the Canadian Commercial Corporation under a finance, engineer, procure and construct contract. The Association of Customs House Agents Ghana, ACHAG, has held its maiden annual general meeting since its formation some 6 years ago. ACHAG has a national objective of ensuring maximum revenue mobilization to the state through education of its members. The maiden AGM was under the theme, Digitalization of Customs Processes, Tool for Revenue Mobilization. Speaking at the event, a Deputy Commissioner of Customs in charge of suspense regime, Emmanuel Ohene, said the injection of automation in the port clearance chain has helped in the trade facilitation and revenue mobilization drive of government. He commended stakeholders in the port business for the fruitful partnership that has been achieved and assured that more capacity building programs would be initiated for them to ensure they are abreast with more innovations that will be introduced.
Through these automated processes, our way of doing business have changed and have improved. Now, the use of IT tools is no longer alien to any of us in the industry because it is a must-have tool to ensure that your processes can be conducted in a transparent and efficient and cost-saving manner. We have so far been able to support each other and have made serious efforts in ensuring that we can offer training and capacity building.
The president of ACHAG, Yao Chei, commended port operators for the rapid transformation of the port, which has taken out all the inefficiencies.
There has been marked discipline and improvement at the port. Though not totally satisfying, the level of compliance at the port now is comparatively very high. It is not only the port, the Tema port, it also applies to all ports of entry. We can confidently attribute these successes to the conscious efforts authorities have made over the years to bring sanity at the ports aimed at maximizing state revenue.
He charged freight forwarders to desist from activities that would cause revenue loss to the state.
A few recalcitrant members of the freight forwarding business are still living in the past and doing all they can to deprive the state of needed revenue. Under some form of influence and pressure, we give in and compromise on our professional standards. As freight forwarders and as citizens of the state, let us be mindful of the fact that our actions and inactions dictate and determine the pace of national development.
A Deputy Minister of State and Industry, Ohene Badukwa IMaH, said the introduction of electronic payment systems at the port has ensured the ease of duty payments as part of government's digitalization drive.
The Customs Division of GRE exceeded its revenue targets notwithstanding the negative impact of COVID-19 on businesses and international trade. This achievement may be attributed to the digitization of customs processes and the monitoring systems deployed at the various ports and land borders across the country.
The president of the Port Ladies Association of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, Philippa Amanda Ama, has made a clarion call for members of the association to remain diligent in their pursuit of a successful career in the shipping and maritime industry.
I keep telling the ladies that the ball is now in our court. The doors have been opened. It's up to you to walk confidently and enter those doors, those open doors. And we used to talk about the proverbial glass ceiling. Women have shown that it's possible. It's challenging yourself to do better than your predecessor. For me, that should be the goal.
She said now more than ever before, the opportunities for women are abundant and competency is the rule of the game.
Currently, our terminals, we have 2 terminals headed by women. The GJT terminal, the GJT manager is a woman. The transit terminal is headed by a woman. And these are very busy terminals. So that's why I'm saying that we've come a long way. And it's it's up to them. And I sit back and I'm proud of the work they are doing.
The president of PLASS, who doubles as the corporate procurement manager at GPHA, revealed that the organizational culture at the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority has been very supportive of the agenda for increased women participation, paving the way for emulation from other institutions. She urged female staff of the Port Authority and other institutions to challenge themselves to improve and take up opportunities available due to the improved access for women.
I think our management has been very supportive. It's been very supportive. When I joined GPHA, we had only one woman in management then. And over the years, we've increased the number. I see the future as very bright.
Philippa Amanda Ama assured that the Port Ladies Association will continue to provide the platform for unity, mentorship, and advocacy for women working at Ghana's ports. The Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority Headquarters Welfare Association has donated assorted medical consumables and equipment to the Pediatric Oncology Unit of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. The items include 4 digital BP monitors with cuff for children, a manual pediatric BP monitor, 15 pieces of digital thermometers, 5 nebulizers, 10 pieces of oxygen saturation device, among others, which sum up to a tune of 15,000 Ghana cedis. These donated items are intended to bolster the unit's capacity to treat children with cancer-related illnesses. Head of the Pediatric Cancer Unit at Kolebu Teaching Hospital, Professor Lorna Awurena, said the items have come in at a critical time and lauded GPH's welfare team for their assistance.
This gift that you've given us, we can't place a value to it. Every single item here is critically needed, even the syringes, even plaster, and the monitors. You don't know what this is going to do. The gloves is really going to help us save the lives of these precious children with cancer.
In a related development, the Operations Unit of Fidelity Bank Ghana has donated some money to help subsidize some of the fees of dialysis patients at the International Maritime Hospital. A token of 5,000 Ghana cedis was donated to help some patients who cannot afford to pay the entire cost of their dialysis treatment at the hospital. The donation comes on the back of the experience of one of the bank staff at the hospital.
Sometimes you meet people who are supposed to be on dialysis for 2 or 3 times a week are doing one dialysis for 3 weeks. And sometimes when they come into the dialysis unit for their treatment, even though you are a patient, you see them and your heart skips a beat. Because this is a human being. And you ask yourself, wow, how are they coping? So it is on the basis of this that I spoke to my colleagues that this year round, during the celebration of our unit's operations week, for our CSR objective, why don't we consider a small token? It may not be much, but I'm sure it will go a long way to help somebody to get that one treatment that they need.
The head of the banking's operation unit of Fidelity Bank, Aaron Amayao, indicated that this donation forms part of the operations unit corporate social responsibility for the year. The chief executive officer of the International Maritime Hospital, Dr. Akwesi Champong, expressed appreciation and appealed to charitable members of the society to emulate such kind gestures where possible.
So we are appealing to the general public that anybody who can assist the dialysis unit or any unit that you so desire, we are welcome. We are hoping that in the future, IMaH, we should be able to get into kidney transplant, that we will be able to solve all these problems, because kidney disease can easily be solved.
We have some international ports and maritime news. A fire broke out on board an Italian-flagged ro-ro passenger ship off the Greek island in the early morning hours of 18 February 2022. At the time of the incident, the 183-meter-long Euro ferry Olympia, operated by Italian shipping company Grimaldi Lines, was en route from Greece to Italy. The ferry had 239 passengers and 51 crew members on board when it departed from the port of Aigomenita. In addition, it carries 153 commercial vehicles and 32 passenger vessels. Following the ship's distress, signal at around 4:30 a.m., Italian and Greek authorities immediately dispatched tugboats, patrol ships and helicopters to the scene. Local fishing boats also assisted in the rescue effort. German seaports believe the EU's proposal to expand shore power is not the right strategy to obtain a sustainable reduction in emissions by shipping. The German seaports take position that a European carbon dioxide emission limit should be introduced for all seagoing and inland waterway vessels at berth. However, across-the-board implementation of on-grid shoreside power facilities is not necessarily the way to reach that goal, according to the ports. In May 2021, Germany's 9 largest seaports signed a memorandum of understanding to set up a framework for a joint course of action on reducing ships' emissions in the ports. Following the bidding process, CMA Terminals, part of French shipping and logistics major CMA CGM Group, has been chosen to manage, operate and maintain the port of Beirut container terminal for a 10-year period starting in March 2022. The group, which already has a strong presence in Lebanon, currently accounts for almost 55% of the container terminal's volumes since it has maintained its 9 weekly calls and transshipment operations there. A $33 million investment will be made in the container terminal of Beirut Port, including $19 million over the first 2 years. CMA CGM said it will use its own expertise and that of the previous operators' teams in pursuit of its development goals for the terminal. Now to some schedules of vessels in the port, those at Anchorage and those expected in the coming week, plus the Bank of Ghana exchange rate you need to know to clear your goods from the port. We have your comments next. Joseph Oliver Bowes says, clearing of ship spares in transit for offshore support vessels transiting our ports is becoming very challenging. If there are clear evidence the vessel is not coming to work in our waters, why can't their spares be cleared just like the conventional vessels? Hello Oliver. Smile Agbenu says Customs is open to review the process and make it easier anytime such concerns come to their attention. Ali is asking, why is it that if I import a car, the charges vary depending on the agent? Well, Ali, according to our guest, there are various factors that could account for the varying charges, like the rate of exchange at the time of clearance and sometimes the shipping line used. This one says, hi Iron Port, I'm interested in purchasing some of the impounded vehicles for personal use, but I don't know how to go by it. Kindly ask your guest for me. Well, anytime Customs wants to auction vehicles, it will be published in the dailies together with the processes that need to be followed. This one says, good evening. I enjoy watching your program. Very good education about what is happening at the port. I like your guest and you, the host. You are all the best. Please keep up the good work you are doing for Mother Ghana. That's all for this week's episode of Iron Port. Thank you for watching and thanks to the entire crew. Join us same time next week.